It's 6:54 in the morning at an airport on the edge of the Black Sea. The sky is just beginning to turn pale, the kind of quiet dawn where everything feels suspended in time. Travelers move slowly through the terminal, some half asleep, others anxious to get home. Security cameras hum silently, recording every second. And then, without warning, a man suddenly bolts. He sprints across the terminal, dropping his belongings, panic written across his face. He doesn't stop at the exit. He doesn't look back. He runs straight out of the airport and disappears into thin air. That man was Lars Mittank. And to this day, no one knows what he saw or what he was running from. Lars Mittank was a 28-year-old German man from a quiet town. By all accounts, he was ordinary in the best way possible. He had a steady job, a close relationship with his family, and a group of friends he trusted. There was nothing unusual about him, nothing that suggested he would one day become the center of one of Europe's most chilling disappearance cases. In June 2014, Lars traveled with friends to the coastal city of Varna, a popular vacation destination along the Black Sea. It was supposed to be a carefree trip: sun, beaches, drinks, and laughter. And at first, that's exactly what it was. But everything began to unravel on the last night. According to reports, Lars got into a minor altercation at a bar with a group of men. The situation didn't seem too serious at the time, but later, Lars complained of pain in his ear. He visited a doctor who diagnosed him with a ruptured eardrum. It wasn't life-threatening, but it did mean he couldn't safely fly. So while his friends boarded their flight back to Germany, Lars stayed behind alone. That decision would change everything. Lars checked into a modest hotel near the airport, planning to rest and catch a later flight once his ear improved. At first, he kept in contact with his mother, Varna Mittank. But almost immediately, his behavior started to shift. He told her something strange. He said he believed the men from the bar were following him. At first, it might sound like paranoia, but Lars sounded genuinely afraid. He claimed these men were after him, that they were watching him. He even whispered during phone calls, as if he thought someone could hear him. The situation escalated when Lars suddenly left his hotel room in the middle of the night. Surveillance footage later showed him pacing nervously in the hallway, hiding in an elevator, and acting like he was trying to avoid someone. Hotel staff reported that Lars appeared anxious and disoriented. He insisted that 4 men were trying to kill him, but no one else saw these men. The next morning, Lars took a taxi to the airport. The driver later said that Lars seemed frightened and kept looking over his shoulder during the ride. He was constantly checking behind him, scanning for something or someone. At the airport, things became even more unsettling. Lars went to see an airport doctor to get clearance to fly. During the examination, the doctor later said Lars appeared extremely nervous. He repeatedly asked if the doctor could be trusted. At one point, Lars even suggested that the doctor might be connected to the people chasing him. Then, something triggered him. Security footage shows Lars standing up abruptly, leaving his belongings behind, and running. Not walking, not hesitating, running as if his life depended on it. He sprinted out of the terminal, past security, across a parking lot, and over a fence. Beyond that fence was a stretch of wilderness, fields, trees, and uneven terrain. And that's where he vanished. No confirmed sightings. No trace of where he went. Just gone. The footage of Lars running has been viewed millions of times online. It's one of the most unsettling moments ever captured in a missing person case. There's something deeply disturbing about the way he runs. Not like someone late for a flight, but like someone escaping a nightmare only he could see. Now, here's where things get even more mysterious. Police launched a full investigation. They searched the surrounding area extensively. Drones, dogs, ground teams, nothing turned up. No body, no clothing, no signs of struggle. It was as if Lars had been swallowed by the earth. Investigators also looked into the men Lars claimed were following him, but they found no solid evidence that such individuals existed or had pursued him. The bar incident appeared to be minor, not the kind of conflict that would escalate into something deadly, and yet Lars was convinced he was in danger. Another strange detail. Lars had withdrawn money from an ATM shortly before disappearing, but he didn't take all his funds, just a small amount. His passport and belongings were left behind at the airport. That raises a haunting question. If Lars was planning to escape, why leave everything behind? At this point, the case becomes a puzzle with too many missing pieces. Right here, if you're as hooked on this mystery as I am, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to Shadow Files, and share this with someone who loves true crime. Cases like this only stay alive when people keep talking about them. Now let's break down the theories. The first theory is psychological distress. Some experts believe Lars may have experienced a sudden mental health episode. The combination of a head injury, stress, alcohol, and being alone in a foreign country could have triggered paranoia or even a psychotic break. This would explain his fear, his belief that people were following him, and his erratic behavior at the airport. But here's the problem. Even in cases of severe psychological distress, people don't usually vanish without leaving any trace, especially not in a relatively populated area near an airport. Which leads us to the second theory: foul play. What if Lars was right? What if someone really was following him? Some believe the altercation at the bar may have been more serious than initially reported. Maybe Lars got involved with the wrong people. Maybe he witnessed something he shouldn't have. If that's the case, his panic suddenly makes sense. His behavior wouldn't be irrational, it would be survival. But again, there's no concrete evidence, no witnesses, no proof that anyone chased him from the airport. Still, the fear in his actions is hard to ignore. The third theory is accidental death. After fleeing the airport, Lars entered a wild, uneven landscape. It's possible he got lost, injured, or collapsed somewhere out of sight. Over time, the environment could have concealed any remains. Search teams did cover large areas, but no search is perfect, and nature has a way of hiding things. But even this theory has gaps. No clothing, no belongings, nothing. Not even a single confirmed clue. And then there's the fourth theory, the one that makes people uneasy. Some believe there's something more, something unexplained. Why did Lars suddenly run? What did he see in that room that caused him to flee in terror? Some speculate that the security footage doesn't tell the full story, that something happened just out of frame. Others point to the eerie timing, the strange phone calls, the overwhelming sense of dread in his voice. It's the kind of case that invites darker interpretations, not because there's evidence of the paranormal, but because there's a complete absence of explanation. And sometimes, that's even more disturbing. Years have passed since Lars Mittank disappeared. His family continues to search for answers, refusing to give up hope. His case remains one of the most famous unsolved disappearances in modern Europe. And that haunting footage still exists. A man running for his life, from something no one else can see. Before we end, think about this. What would make you run like that? Not just hurry, not panic slightly, but run with absolute uncontrollable fear, leaving everything behind without a second thought. Whatever Lars saw, it was real to him. And maybe that's the most terrifying part of all. If you found this case as chilling as I did, make sure to like, subscribe to Shadow Files, and share this video. The more people who know about Lars, the better chance there is that someone, somewhere, might hold the missing piece of this puzzle. Because until we know what happened that morning, the disappearance of Lars Mittank remains a mystery that refuses to be solved.